Well, that Menendez brothers case is all over the news. They have been in court, and the media outside of the courtroom makes it look like it was the case when it was happening in the early 90s.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy. If you don't know the case at all, it was two rich kids that wound up killing their parents back in like 1988, 89. I think it was 89. The younger brother was 18. The older brother was 21 years old. It was a well-to-do family. The dad had been a wealthy family in Havana, Cuba. They were from Spain originally, and when they had the revolution, they lost everything and had to start over again. Well, he had done well in business, and he was working with RCA Records, so there was a lot of celebrities that were around. So they had $14 million, a good bit of wealth at that time, and they had kind of the fame going along with it. So it was shocking when the parents were found brutally murdered with shotgun blasts in their living room at home. And here are the boys, and they're like traumatized by it, supposedly. But then they kind of go on a shopping spree, and things kind of get weird, and the cops get a bit suspicious by their behavior. And then they finally find a jailhouse letter from one brother to the other after they have found that they had purchased the said shotguns that were used. And it seemed like there was abuse that had happened from the father on the boys, sexual abuse. And so that's really where we are right now, with people like Kim Kardashian saying that these boys need to be let out because they were abused. In fact, right now, the brother's attorney, Mark Garagos, you've seen him pop up before. He has said if the crime happened today and the brothers were sisters, they wouldn't even be locked up at all. And now they spent 35 years in prison.
Dang.
I don't know if they wouldn't be locked up at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that.
That's the question. He's saying that the abuse, in a sense, sexual abuse of this nature, it is forgivable for the crime that you do because of the trauma that you go through. And that would be the interesting question about that. Is it? Now, nobody really spoke highly of the dad at all. Seemed like a monster. But as I watched the documentary movie on Netflix yesterday, and I'm only halfway through, so I will tell you that my opinion right now is only half-baked. I'll let you know the full opinion. But the one thing that I tripped up on was the fact that the mother also was blasted. And there was one juror that was talking about the reason why, and it didn't sit well with me. They were saying, well, you know, she maybe was, you know, kind of an enabler and an accomplice, that she didn't stand up to the dad the way that she should have. And part of it, too, was they said that she would have been a loose end. She would have been a witness to the murder of the father. And in a sense, maybe it was like a mercy killing, because she wouldn't have been able to have handled what had happened either, knowing that her sons had killed her husband right in front of her. So they did her a favor by killing her. So the problem I have is the fact that the mom has died. And is 35 years enough for the murder of the mom? Maybe the dad I can overlook with what you now know, and if they can prove that. How do you feel about it, Virginia?
Well, her own sister is commenting on it. The mom that passed away, her sister said, look, let these boys out. They've done enough time. I think some people say the mom knew about the abuse and did not help her own son. That, to me, is unforgivable. I don't know if she should have paid with her life, but Gypsy Rose is walking around.
Yeah.
We let Gypsy Rose out.
And she didn't even do the killing. She
didn't even do the killing, but
she helped, you know.
there was no sexual abuse there, which I think is different. But, I mean, Gypsy Rose was forced to be sick when she wasn't really sick. She was poisoned by her own mother. Like,
now,
what's the difference?
I didn't see the documentary. People keep on saying, well, this is fact. This definitely happened. Where is that coming from? Do they have documents on some of this stuff to where I keep on hearing he had multiple victims? Dad.
There are people that have come forward from Menudo.
Yeah.
He was involved with the band Menudo in his record industry ties, and somebody in Menudo has accused him of sexual assault.
Yeah, so this is why this is really kind of a big story now, is because with the pressure that is mounted from the Netflix specials, the judge is going to take a second look at it. So we could have all over again another Menendez trial, and then they would have to decide, was it a justified killing based on what they did? And the thing I still have a hard time coming to, and look, my wife and my daughter, Caitlin, they have very passionate opinions on this. And my daughter said, according to the law You shouldn't be molested from the age of 6. And the mom was an accomplice. She specifically said she knew it was going on and just didn't stop it.
Wow.
But I guess my question would be, how do we know the mom said that? Who's saying that? Is there proof of the mom saying that? Or is someone just going, this is what she said? That's why it gets a little tricky on some of these documentaries.
Yeah, that's what will have to come out in the court of law. And then that would be the question. If you knew that your husband was victimizing your sons and you let it happen, does that, in a sense, make you worthy of a death sentence?
Did her sister say that?
Her sister is saying that. Her sister
said that, I know for a fact the mom knew?
No, her sister is saying, I think the boys should be let out because they were abused. And the sister is not taking the side of her own sister. That to me says that, oh.
Not always. Keep in mind now, those are her nephews. So they're still, she still may love them, and because they are her nephews and just think they might have done their time. I just want to make sure it's one of them documentaries where when they say something, there's proof to back it up and it's not just a hearsay thing.
Yeah, did the mom really know?
Well, this is what is interesting about this is people are now really starting to dive into these Netflix, the documentary and then the mockumentary of it. I'm going to watch all of it and see what happens because it looks like we're going to have another court case and it might be just as big as it was in the early 90s. So if you missed it the first time around, good news. You're going to have that circus all over again.
Oh, I think it's going to even be bigger now.
Yeah.
So I asked the question, if you know the Menendez brothers case, do you think they should be let out of prison? Right now, 56% of KVJ TV viewers say yes. 43% say no. So again, when it's almost split down the middle like this is, that's where you're going to get a lot of passion with it. But it's going to definitely drive numbers on that. And I'm going to continue watching. And when I get through both the documentary and the mockumentary, I'll let you know if I still feel kind of the way I do right now. So check it out.
This is how we do. It's the KVJ Show.